Hello and welcome. Tonight, fireworks light up the sky as Nigerians join their counterparts in countries around the world to usher in the new year, 2024. Christian faithful in various parts of the country welcome the new year with jubilation, dancing and thanksgiving to God with expectations of a better future for the nations. Tough times will not last. The president encourages citizens to remain unbowed in the face of the current socio-economic challenges in his maiden New Year address to Nigerians. And amid the excitement and fanfare around the world to welcome 2024, at least 2 people feared dead as a 7.6 magnitude earthquake hits Japan.
On Business News tonight, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission denies report alleging its plan to raise electricity tariffs with effect from the 1st of this month.
On sports news tonight, Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey misses out on Ghana's squad for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations finals as he continues to recover from a hamstring problem.
And from Abuja, the president signs the 28.7 trillion naira 2024 budget into law, vows to hold ministries, departments and agencies accountable in its implementation.
2024 is here and countries around the world have been welcoming the new year in grand style. The first set of fireworks and celebrations to usher in the new year was seen in Auckland, New Zealand. China was one of the countries in Asia to enter the new year ahead of most countries, putting up all aspects of celebration on display. In France, hundreds of thousands of people gathered on the Champs-Élysées as they ushered in the new year. There was also no shortage of firework displays at the UAE. Drop in New York's Times the year 2024 in the United States, among other global celebrations. Here in Nigeria, citizens also joined in the excitement as they marked the crossover with services in churches, as well as musical fiesta at the Soul Beach in Lagos, where top Nigerian acts thrilled the crowd. It's indeed been a day of celebration as Nigerians ushered in the new year. Let's begin in Lagos, the nation's commercial nerve center, where it was all jubilation as Christian faithful gathered at their various worship centers to thank God for making it into 2024. Parishioners at the Kingsway International Christian Center, Maryland, and members of the Citadel Community Church in Ikeja sang and danced with joy just as sounds of thanksgiving and gratitude echoed from the Cathedral Church of Christ in Marina.
As the final minutes of year 2023 elapses, the annual Crossover Service tradition at the Kingsway International Christian Center, Maryland, is marked with singing and dancing, thanksgiving, prayers, and prophetic declarations for individuals, the church, and Nigeria.
I said you will also see the end of 2024.
And as parishioners welcomed the new year, shouts of jubilation rent the air.
We are energized to start the new year with great expectation that God is enough to make this year a more prosperous, better year for us.
We can be so sure that this year shall be good for us as a family and even as a church, KICC. And I know that we have something to hope for.
The resident pastor of KICC Maryland and National Superintendent KICC Nigeria, Pastor Femi Fasheru, who declared 2024 as a year of more than enough, also expresses optimism for a better Nigeria.
We are excited and we prophetically declare it as a year of more than enough because as a people, we have suffered enough in lack and scarcity. So we believe God that this gift of a new year is turning things around for us as a nation.
The Citadel Church lights up as hundreds of people come in to praise God in anticipation of the new year.
The theme for the whole New Year gathering is unusual and uncommon elevation. These two words, unusual and uncommon, can be used as synonyms, but when they are put together, it is for serious emphasis, like we have in Ephesians 3:20-21. Unto him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we ask or think. When they are joined together, the emphasis shows you that something extraordinary is about to happen.
Meanwhile, at the Cathedral Church of Christ, Marina, Lagos, it's an atmosphere of spiritual connection and reflection of the passing year. Hymns of praise and worship fill the air, and as the clock approaches midnight, the presiding priest urges the church to be hopeful in the face of difficulty.
God is asking us to see beyond the odds of the outgoing year, to see beyond our current circumstances and predictions of experts, to look with eyes of faith at the possibilities that lie ahead.
And by morning of January the 1st, 2024, the congregation is back at the church for a choral matins. The Diocesan Bishop of Lagos says the year 2024 provides another season of joyful beginnings.
There's hope. All what we have lost, physically or spiritually, God is going to restore it. We believe that. So let us walk on the path of restoration and do not destroy or scatter what God has done for us.
As Nigerians bid farewell to 2023 and welcome 2024, it's an atmosphere of joy and optimism as they share a united sentiment of hope and anticipation for the journey that lies ahead in this year.
Meanwhile, the New Year crossover countdown returned in Lagos after the COVID-19 pandemic-induced break since 2019. Residents joined the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and top Afrobeat entertainers to usher in the year 2024 at the Greater Lagos Fiesta, which held across 5 locations simultaneously. The fiesta culminated in the countdown at the Soul Beach in Lagos, with the governor leading the count before the night skyline got brightened with colorful fireworks. The merriments and partying continued until the early hours, with some of the top Nigerian acts, including Afrobeat superstar Davido, taking turns to thrill the crowd. Staying with the New Year celebration in Lagos, leaders and members of the Covenant Nation started the year 2024 with hope of a bright and prosperous year, as pronounced by the senior pastor and founder, Boju Oyemade. The church crossover service was held at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Onikon, Lagos. It was an opportunity to bond and set the focus for the new year.
New King James Version first.
The final hours of 2023 for worshippers and friends of the Covenant Nation was spent in the presence of God, with the senior pastor and founder, Pastor Boju Oyemade, admonishing from the looking at Romans 5, verse 1 to 5, preparing them for 2024.
The Bible says perfect love that God has casts out fear. That there is no reason for us to be afraid. That when we open up our doors unto God, we will find out that all the while He has already opened up His doors unto us in Jesus Christ.
Then the usual countdown as the clock ticks to signal the end of 2023.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Happy New Year!
The sound of their singing and praises signals the beginning of 2024.
So that they cannot see.
And then words of comfort and direction for the new year.
Good is coming to you this year, and by the mercy of God, with your own eyes, you will see it and recognize it. You enter into this
Settling in for 2024, members of the Covenant Nation look forward to the manifestation of the prayers and prophecies of their leader, Pastor Koju Oyemade.
This year, in a time of trouble, when those who hate you arise, you will rejoice in the salvation of the Lord.
In some other parts of southern Nigeria, 2024 was also ushered by citizens at worship centers as well as other public places. Here's how we captured the celebrations.
Nigerians across the country welcomed the year 2024 with diverse views bordering on the economy, security and governance in general. In Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, respondents called on the government to fix the economy.
My expectation is that the government will look into the protection of the right to lives of the people and advancement of their economic prosperity, and ensure that the socio-economic rights of the citizens are well protected.
In neighboring Oyo State, reactions were not any different, save that they are accompanied by some optimism.
I'm not in the sector, but from the feelers I get from people, I think they need to fund education more in Oyo State.
There still needs to be efforts on access roads between communities.
Over in Osun State, the governor, Ademola Adeleke, assured the people of good governance. He made the statement as he joined citizens to usher in the new year at the Freedom Park in Osogbo, the state capital.
We have provided free medical care. We are fixing all the roads. We are fixing all the schools. And water is going on. By the special grace of God, we will still do more.
And from Port Harcourt to River State, South Nigeria, worshippers from the Royal House of Grace Church to thank God for the year 2023 and usher in the new year with singing and dancing. In his New Year message, the General Overseer of the Church enjoined Christians to pray for their leaders and urged those in authority to recruit the best hands to pilot the affairs of the country.
That is what I enjoin every practitioner of religion, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, pray for our leaders. If they do well, we will enjoy. But if they don't do well, the whole nation will suffer.
In Imo State, southeast Nigeria, there was no crossover activity, but a New Year church service held to welcome the year 2024. Governor Hope Uzodinma reminded congregants that the fight against corruption is a collective one, and residents of the state must begin the year with a repentant mind.
So when corruption leaves the head and is at the neck, by the time it finishes with the neck, the head will fall in. So for you and me, who has been given the trust, public trust, to work, and you are there, stealing the public money.
As the year begins, Nigerians hope their expectations will be made reality and there will be more highs than lows in 2024.
In part two after the break, we'll have more on the New Year and how the event went down in parts of the North and the FCT. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Fireworks light up the sky as Nigerians join their counterparts in countries around the world to usher in the year 2024. Christian faithful in various parts of the country welcomed the new year with jubilation, dancing and thanksgiving to God, with expectations of a better future for the nations. Tough times will not last. The president encourages citizens to remain unbowed in the face of the current socio-economic challenges in his maiden New Year address to Nigerians. And amid the excitement and fanfare around the world to welcome 2024, at least 2 people feared dead as the 7.6 magnitude earthquake hits Japan. In the spirit of a new year, Nigeria's political leaders have been urged to empathize more with the situation of ordinary Nigerians in the new year. The Archbishop of Abuja Catholic Archdiocese, Archbishop Ignatius Kaigama, made the call during the crossover service of Our Lady Queen of Nigeria Catholic Pro Cathedral in Abuja. Our correspondent, Dele Omoyeni, reports how Christians in the FCT crossed into the new year.
How did you spend the last few hours of 2023? For many Christian faithfuls, bidding 2023 goodbye and ushering in the year 2024 is better done in church. They sang praises. They prayed. The atmosphere in the churches exudes happiness as the melodious rendition of the choir set the tone for the message for clergymen who preach hope and trust in the power of God.
In the name of Jesus.
They also have words for the nation's leaders.
2023 has been a tough and rough year. People have suffered enormously. Poverty, hunger, a high cost of things have made life quite miserable. So we hope that there will be a change. It has been quite worrisome, and we pray that the Lord will help our leaders to see properly that their duty is to serve, to bring joy, peace, happiness, and progress to the people.
Righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is reproach. Righteousness that the Bible talks about there is doing things right. As we do things right, the nation will increase. It's not enough to blame the government. It's good for government to be responsible, but what do we do as citizens also? So as we do the right things, as we coordinate our businesses very well, coordinate things very well, you see that the nation will rise up.
As the clock ticks and the year 2023 winds down, a joyous shout of Happy New Year rends the air, followed by fireworks, songs, and dance of gratitude to God. The people are full of expectations for the new year.
My expectations for 2024 is to, go in with a renewed sense of purpose in understanding that God has called me to several things. God has called me to do greater things, basically.
It's time for all of us to rise as a country. This is the time where the honor of Nigeria will be restored.
Beyond the prayers and praises, Nigerians are optimistic of a better 2024. Dele Omoyeni, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, in Benue State, Governor Hyacinth Alia is urging residents of the state to work with his administration to restore the socio-economic life of the people. The Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Terso Kula, stated this during the countdown event to welcome the new year. He also granted pardon to 12 inmates from the correctional facility in the state.
Young people gather in numbers at the low-level roundabout in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, to welcome the new year. The countdown begins with excitement from the people. Fireworks rent the air amidst cheers. The government is hoping that the people will work with the administration to return social life in the state.
People should hope for the best. Whatever he had done in 2023 is just an introduction to what he wants to really do for the people of Benue State in these 4 years. He entered into a social contract with the people and promised them that he will put smiles on their face. There will be a greater Benue, and that is exemplified in what he's doing so far. And I would believe that that will happen this year.
The youth are happy because life has come back to Benue. People who are very hungry will not do this. Or for over 8 years in the past, there wasn't anything like this.
In the spirit of the new year, Governor Hyacinth Alia pardons 12 inmates of the Middle Correctional Center in Makurdi.
Upon recommendation by this said committee, the State Advisory Council on Prerogative of Mercy, those who are recommended would be granted release.
He assures the inmates of better times ahead by helping to contribute to their comfortable time at the correctional center.
Some of the state governors have also been sending their New Year messages to their people, committing to ensure improvement in their well-being.
Nigeria has joined the rest of the world to welcome a new year 2024. The joy it brings has been expressed variously by state governors as they officially make their first public statements in their various domain where they superintend. We begin in the coal city of Enugu State and from the man who has recently been cleared by the highest court in the land to lead the state. Mr. Peter Mba, part of his statements read, "We took advantage of the Electricity Act 2023 signed by President Bola Tinubu in June by immediately initiating the Enugu State Electricity Law, which I signed in September to pave the way for an Enugu electricity market to support our investments and the industrialization drive." Just some miles away in Cross River State, his counterpart, the Cross River State Governor, Mr. Basio too, tells his people that 2024 will be a bigger and better state. If you think Governor Adeleke of Osun is the only one with skills in dancing, then he has a challenge already. Governor Umaru Fintiri joined residents of the state at the Yola flyover and interchange to celebrate. 2024 will be more fulfilling for us. Those are the opening charge by Kwara State Governor, Mr. Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, as he welcomes all to the new year 2024. Governor Abdulrazak promised he would lead his government to deliver on its core mandate of ensuring safety of lives and property, maintaining law and order, and providing basic amenities and infrastructure within available resources. The governor of Taraba State, Mr. Abu Kefas, is next. He extends courtesies to Taraba people. His facilitation is quickly followed with some actions as he grants clemency to 31 deserving prison inmates. A decision, he says, reflects the government's commitment to justice, compassion, and the belief in the transformative power of rehabilitation. Kaduna State is rising from the ashes of the pain of a deadly bombing it suffered in the outgone year to embrace the new year. The governor, Mr. Obasani, says he has the priority and strategy towards an accelerated development, improved security and human capital development 2024. According to him, farmers and unserved groups, particularly in the rural communities, will get adequate incentives in 2024, while education will also receive more attention in addition to empowering small and medium enterprises through incentives. In Kogi State, this month marks the end of 8 years of Governor Yaya Bello's administration. While reeling out several of his achievements in his New Year's message, Governor Bello spared several thoughts to thank the people of the state for all the support given him and in the choice of a successor. His gratitude reads in parts. What is key now is that the great people of Kogi State have given me my choice of a successor in the person of Governor-elect Ahmed Usman Ododo and his deputy Joel Oyibo Salifu, who you elected so resoundly on November 11, 2023. Your confidence in our new direction reinforces our conviction that it is indeed the right direction.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission denies report claiming it plans to raise electricity tariff with effect from today, January the 1st. That's on Business News. Please join us again. Welcome back. You're still watching the news at 10. Let's now head to the nation's capital, where Gloria Mizuki is standing by to give us the very latest from our Abuja studios. Hello, Gloria, and a Happy New Year.
Many thanks, Ayo. Compliments of the season to you. Now, as Nigerians usher in the new year, the president is encouraging citizens to remain unbowed in the face of the socio-economic challenges facing the country, noting that current tough times would not last long. This was contained in the president's first New Year address to Nigerians. He urged citizens, including his political opponents in the last elections, to work for the peace, progress and stability of the country, noting that the task of building a prosperous nation is not the work of the president and government officials alone.
This is the first New Year broadcast by President Bola Tinubu since he assumed office 7 months ago.
I extend my hand across the political divide. I ask you.
He starts by acknowledging how challenging yet eventful the previous year was, even as it witnessed the peaceful and successful transfer of power in Nigeria's 24 years unbroken democracy. The president said he understands the discomfort some of the decisions taken by his administration has had on Nigerians.
Take this from me. The time may be rough and tough. However, our spirit must remain unbowed because tough times never last. We are made for this period, never to flinch, never to falter. The socio-economic challenges of today should energize and rekindle our love and faith in the promise of Nigeria.
He outlined some of the steps being taken to address security, the provision of electricity, and ensure food security.
In this new year, we will race against time to ensure all the fiscal and tax policies reforms we need to put in place are codified and simplified to ensure the business environment does not destroy value. On every foreign trip I have embarked on, my message to investors and other business people has been the same. Nigeria is ready and open for business.
The president said the 2024 budget reflects government's focus on issues such as poverty reduction, social security and human capital development.
Because we take our development agenda very seriously, our 2024 budget reflects the premium we place on achieving our governance objectives. We will work diligently to make sure every Nigerian feels the impact of their government, the economic aspirations, and the material well-being of the poor, the most vulnerable, and the working people shall not be neglected.
He also tasked all Nigerians to work to build the country.
To play our part, the job of building a prosperous nation is not the job of president. Governors, ministers, lawmakers, and government officials alone. Our destinies are connected as members of this household of Nigeria. Our language, creed, ethnicity, and religious belief, even when they are not same, should never make us work at cross purposes.
The president ended by wishing all Nigerians a happy and prosperous 2024.
Meanwhile, the president has signed the 28.7 trillion naira 2024 budget into law, assuring Nigerians that the budget would be efficiently implemented and vigorously monitored. The signing took place at a brief ceremony in the presidential villa with senior government officials led by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Speaking after the ceremony, the lawmakers told journalists that they will ensure the budget is properly implemented for the benefit of all Nigerians. In other stories, the First Lady, Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu, is urging expectant mothers to prioritize their health and seek to know their HIV/AIDS status. According to her, this will enable them prevent mother-to-child transmission of the disease and help them stay healthy. The First Lady was speaking at the National Hospital Abuja, where she welcomed the baby of the year 2024. Our correspondent, Emanuela Ekele, reports.
The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is at the National Hospital Abuja to welcome the first baby of the year, Boluwatife Johnson, who was born at 12:03 a.m.
Baby Boluwatife Johnson, God bless you.
She's accompanied by the wife of the Vice President and the Minister of Women Affairs, among other dignitaries.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you,
ma'am. God bless you.
The First Lady is visiting with gifts for other babies, including a set of conjoined twins.
Yes. They will separate them.
The First Lady has a word of advice for nursing mothers.
I urge nursing mothers to take adequate care of their babies, ensure that they are immunized as and when due, practice exclusive breastfeeding to provide them with adequate, nutritious, and healthy weaning food for proper brain development.
The Minister of Women Affairs speaks on the plans to empower more women and girls this year.
So we're starting the empowerment this January. Before third week, you see a lot of things, the pink riders, the hubs will start, the sustainable machines, empowerment machines like rice milling, cassava milling, garri frying, processing machines, and the bitter leaf processing machines. So we'll have all these things. And when we push it out, we are going to have a portal where we'll help them equally to market these goods and get them together as a family across the nation.
In Kwara State, the State Commissioner for Women Affairs represented the wife of the governor at a reception for the baby of the year in the state.
My message for them is to ensure that they guide the gift given to them by God jealously. They should ensure that they give morals, they give values to the babies, and ensure that they inculcate the right skills into them, the right knowledge, because every child has the right to education. You know, they should give them adequate education. Don't put everything on the head of the government. Of course, the government is trying its bit. So let's work together harmoniously and ensure that all these babies fulfill destiny.
The government is promising to continue to do its best to care for women and children in the state. Emanuela Ekele, Channels Television News.
Well, Channels Television, your multiple award-winning station, opened 2024 with a heartwarming surprise seen in the launch of a brand new program, The Morning Brief. The Morning Brief is a breakfast program featuring a mix of news, current affairs, lifestyle, trends and entertainment. Hosted by some of the station's presenters, including Kayode Okikiolu, Jeffrey Uzono and Bukola Koka. The Morning Brief debuted with a review of the President's New Year's Day broadcast to Nigerians, motivations for Nigerians as they make New Year resolutions, and delightful conversation with a Nollywood celebrity.
So say hello to our brand new Top of the Morning show for the very first time.
Co-host Kayode Okikiolu opens the show with his usual energetic and cheerful style.
Guys, what a way to start the new year, everyone. I'm Kayode Okikiolu and we are your hosts. Look at that, guys.
Look at that, Kayode.
Look at that.
The presenters reel out the expectations from the program, after which they process the high points of the President's New Year's broadcast.
He said that he's trying to build a fair and equitable society. And perhaps something out of the usual which we hear is the fact that he says, well, I appreciate that everybody has different capabilities. So your hard work might not necessarily generate all of the, success or the remuneration you want, but he says that work hard nonetheless. And let's make sure that
I guess by implication is saying that we're going to make the society so viable that if you put in the work, you're going to get the results you want to get at the end of the day.
Take your destiny in your hands. This is Dr. Larry Olushola's extract from the president's speech and his charge to Nigerians as they focus on their goals for the new year.
One of the things that we need in Nigeria today, and we all agree, is hope. Hope. We all have to have faith. And I think one of the most cardinal points in his speech is the fact that you have to take your destiny in your hands and do not expect government to deliver everything for you.
Nollywood actor and filmmaker Adebayo Salami spices up the morning brief with his act and the insights he shared about prospects and challenges of Nollywood.
When I say enabling environment, it includes the security, the funding, and all that we have. That industry is about, for me, the largest industry that, gives room for employment in Nigeria. In fact, in the world.
Wow.
So it should be taken care of. That is one. Then secondly, of course, we can't totally eradicate piracy. Those are the major challenges that I see in Nollywood.
The maiden edition of the program wraps up with an assurance from the Chief of Defense Staff that communities in Plateau State sacked by bandits will return to their homes.
We assure Nigerians that we are saddened about what happened. For any commander, no commander wants where his AOR to be attacked or individuals, innocent people to be killed. No commander is happy about it. And so when I hear comments, people making comment as if it was deliberate that commanders refused to react or troops refused to react, it's not true. So I want to assure Nigerians that we're on top of it. And 2024 will enhance our operational abilities so that we can secure Nigeria the more. We are working with the state government to identify those areas and to be able to, this year, God willing, will ensure that no community is held by any bandits. Members of the communities will leave their IDP camps and be able to go there. And what we appeal is that the military can only do so much. Once they go back and then they can't get the support from the government, it makes it a bit difficult for anyone to be able to support them. And so that's why it's important that we must work together as a team.
The morning brief airs on Channels Television at 7 a.m. Mondays to Fridays, taking the initial slot of Sunrise Daily, which now airs right after the new show at 9 a.m.
Well, that's it from the nation's capital. We go over now to Joke Rogers for business news.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Welcome to Business News. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Agency, the NERC, says it has not issued any order to electricity distribution companies to implement an increase in electricity tariffs with effect from January 1st, 2024. The spokesperson of the organization, Mr. Osman Abba, made this known to journalists, described the tariff hike rumors as fake news, and emphasized that the order currently in effect remains unchanged. His reaction comes amid widespread reports alleging that the electricity distribution companies are planning to raise their tariffs nationwide with effect from today. And the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the LCCI, has commended the federal government on its commitment to power projects in a bid to address the critical issue of electricity supply in the country. In its reaction to President Bola Tinubu's New Year speech, the LCCI, in a statement released today, also lauded the current administration's efforts at enhancing the reliability of transmission lines, which it described as a positive step that aligns with its plan for a robust and diversified economy. The representative of the business community, however, highlighted the urgent need for the federal government to bring private sector investments into the transmission segment of the power sector to boost its development. Now, Microsoft's president, Brad Smith, has made a reversal on criticisms he made last year, which said the UK was bad for business. Mr. Smith made the comments after the competition watchdog initially blocked Microsoft's planned takeover of the gaming giant Activision Blizzard. The tech giant's boss, who earlier said people's confidence in the UK had been severely shaken, is now quoted to have explained that the country's Competition and Markets Authority, which approved the deal, was tough and fair. In April last year, the CMA blocked Microsoft's acquisition of Activision over concerns it will reduce innovation and mean less choice for consumers in the fast-growing cloud gaming business. And finally, the price of Bitcoin is projected to continue its rally by 1,000% to about $500,000 this year. And that's according to some speculators, both inside and outside of the cryptocurrency industry. This comes amid growing excitement that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will approve the first ever Bitcoin exchange-traded fund after years of opposition. Industry executives have called the start of a new bull run for the digital asset, mainly predicated on two things, which includes the halving of Bitcoin and the potential approval of the cryptocurrencies ETF in the United States. That's business news tonight, and I'll hand you over to Ayatunde Balogun.
Thanks, okay. At least 2 people are feared dead following a 7.6 magnitude earthquake that struck coastal cities in Japan. Well, here's Simon Pusey with more in Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake has hit Japan, causing chaos across the country. Dozens of smaller earthquakes have also struck, with more expected to follow. Huge cracks have been seen on major roads and houses have been reduced to rubble. Eyewitness footage showing items falling off shelves as people attempted to take cover. A meteorological agency official confirmed the quake triggered the country's first major tsunami warning since March 2011. Some people are reported trapped under collapsed buildings, and hospitals are reporting many people injured. A massive fire broke out in Wajima City in Ishikawa Prefecture. Waves more than a meter high have reached the coast in Ishikawa Prefecture, but they are smaller than the 16-foot waves that authorities had warned of. A snowboarding tourist in Nagano, a city in central Japan, said he felt the whole room shaking.
A group of snowboarders here in Nagano, in the Niigata province. We're here up in the mountains in the Hakuba Alps hotel. I think we just experienced a 7.5 earthquake. Pretty massive, if you ask me. So the whole room was shaking, the TV was shaking. I had to keep everything on the table. I did feel safe in my room though, but everything else was shaking.
And suddenly it get pretty strong earthquake. You can see all the snow from the electric wire goes down, and also from the roof goes down, and all the car is shaking, and so everybody was panicked at that time.
China's President Xi Jinping has said reunification with Taiwan is inevitable in his televised New Year's address, striking a stronger tone than he did last year. Last year, Xi said that only people on either side of the strait are members of one and the same family, and that he hoped people on both sides will work together to jointly foster lasting prosperity of the Chinese nation. China considers Taiwan to be its sacred territory and has never announced the use of force to bring it under Chinese control. A court in Bangladesh has sentenced the Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus to 6 months in jail for violating the country's labour laws. Professor Yunus has been a vocal critic of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. His supporters say the case is politically motivated. And cities around the world have brought in the new year with fireworks and celebrations as we entered 2024. Sydney was the first major city to welcome the new year, with a dazzling fireworks display featuring silver and gold pyrotechnics to commemorate the Opera House's 50th anniversary. With the annual ceremony of a descending crystal-clad ball, revelers rang in 2024 at New York's Times Square. Here, fireworks lit up the Rio sky to welcome a new year to Brazil. North Koreans celebrated the new year in Pyongyang. And the UK welcomed 2024 with the chimes of Big Ben and a spectacular fireworks display in London. Spectators packed the area alongside the River Thames for the best view of the 12,000 fireworks. Events were also held in Edinburgh for Scotland's world-famous Hogmanay celebrations. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel's studios in Lagos.
Well, thanks, Simon. In the world of sports, Super Eagles head coach Joseph Peseiro has explained how his 25-man squad was picked for this month's Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. The duo of Ahmed Musa, William Truss Ekong made a return to the team, while Terry Murphy, Paul Onuachu and Cyril Dessers were notable absentees. Staying with the tournament, Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey has been left out of Ghana's squad for the upcoming competition as he continues to recover from a hamstring problem. Well, Partey has been out of action since October last year and played just 5 games in all competitions for the Gunners this season. The Ghana head coach Chris Hughton included Andrew Ayew, Jordan Ayew, Mohamed Kudus in the squad. And that's Sports News Tonight. I am Kelly Egiga. It's back to Ayotunde.
Many thanks, Kelly. And the main news again. Nigerians today joined their counterparts in countries around the world to usher in the year 2024 as Christian faithful gathered in various parts of the country to welcome the new year with jubilation, dancing and thanksgiving to God with expectations of a better future. President Bola Tinubu has encouraged citizens to remain unbowed in the face of the current socio-economic challenges in his maiden New Year address to the nation, maintaining that tough times will not last. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun from all of us here to have a good night and Happy New Year once again.